Hi, welcome to Right to Top. I'm Adam. In today's video, I want to talk to you about the IELTS Task 2 essay. So this is especially for those people who are preparing for the IELTS exam. And what I want to talk about are some strategies to help you prepare for the exam before the test. Okay, so there are a few things you need to do in order to pass the essay section of the exam. Okay, so let's dive right in and let's look at some strategies, some things to keep in mind well before test day. Okay, first thing, review your grammar, your punctuation, and your essay structures. A lot of people can actually write pretty well and they have pretty good English skills, but they don't know the actual exam structure. They don't know what the graders are looking for. So they are looking for good grammar. They want to see different sentence structures. They want to see different clause types. They want to see linking phrases and linking words. They want to see transitions. They want to make sure that your commas are well used, semicolons, if you're going to use them, know how to use them, all of these things. And make sure you know how the essay should look like. Should have 4, maybe 5 paragraphs, though I recommend 4. You have a beginning, you have like an introduction, you have a body, you have a conclusion. So make sure you know all these aspects of writing. Then make sure you're building your vocabulary base. Vocabulary is key to success on the essay, okay? If you want to get a 7 or higher, you're going to need a lot of good vocabulary to use in your essay. Learn a lot of high-end words and a lot of good phrases and make sure you're using them correctly and appropriately in context, okay? Build an idea bank. That's the next topic. Build an idea bank. Now, what this means is that for all the main topics that they ask you questions about, make sure that you have your ideas ready before test day. A lot of students tell me, the hardest part about the essay is just coming up with ideas. Well, have those ideas ready before. If you're not sure what an idea bank is or how to build one, there's a link here. You can follow it. You can watch a video I made about the idea bank. And I'll show you which topics to prepare in a minute. And then write, and then write, and then write. The writing skill is the hardest or the most difficult of the 4 skills to develop and to enhance, okay? So you need to start early. A lot of people, they start with the listening, they start with the reading, they practice all these things, they leave writing till the end. Writing should be the thing you start first because it's the hardest to build, the hardest skill to build, and it takes the most time. So start right now working on your writing skills, okay? Then every time you write a sample essay, make sure you leave it aside for a day or two, and then go back and make sure you edit. Look for all the mistakes yourself and try to fix it yourself, okay? Now, right now, I'm working on a book, on an ebook. It's a self-assessment guidebook. I'm going to show you how to do all these things. But in the meantime, if you can't edit yourself properly, try to find somebody who's good at writing, who's good at English, who can look at your essays for you, okay? Now, I can't do this for you because I have too many of these requests, but be prepared. You're gonna have to probably pay somebody to do this unless you have a teacher or a friend who's a native English speaker and who knows how to write well, who can do this for you. If you can, show it to somebody else. Let them point out the mistakes you're making, okay? Then make sure you have a lot of samples to study from. Study good examples of essays. There are a lot of websites, even my website, righttotop.com. Go there, look at good essays, but also look at some bad essays and try to understand why they're bad. Why did this person lose points? And these are the things that you're going to try to avoid doing in your own writing, okay? So study the good ones, learn from the bad ones. And then be prepared for any situation, any question, any kind of question style, any topic, be ready for that. So I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So first of all, let's look at the topics. These are the main topics they're going to be asking you questions about. The most common is education, and then technology, health, sports, nutrition. Again, all of these topics, start building idea banks for each one. So that way when you come to the tests on test day, you're ready to answer any question that's given to you. Create yourself questions for each one. Write sample answers, sample essays for each topic and be ready for anything. Then, make sure you know the question types. What are the questions going to look like? What is expected of you? Okay, so there are three basic types of questions you're going to see: ones that ask for an opinion, ones that don't ask for an opinion, and the hybrids that it could they may ask you for two things or three things. They may ask you for a non-opinion start and then an opinion finish, or two no opinion aspects. Okay, especially when we're looking at the two-part questions. So they're going to ask you for a discussion, where generally you may or may not be asked for an opinion. They're going to ask you to make an argument where you definitely have to give an opinion, and they're going to ask you for a comparison where you may or may not have to give an opinion as well. You're going to be asked about advantages and disadvantages, or benefits and drawbacks. So you're going to have to look at both sides of a situation or of an action or proposal, etc. They're going to ask you to agree or disagree with something, with a statement or with a belief or a view. They're going to ask you to make a choice between two opinions or two views about something. They're going to ask you to look at a situation and say, what might be the causes of this? What might be the solutions to this problem or situation? And then they're going to ask you direct, open questions like yes, no questions. So, what do you think? Or that's an opinion. Okay, or who, or how, or when. They're going to ask you, these are open questions, or yes or no questions. Do you think? Should something happen? Are people like this, etc. Yes, no questions begin with a verb. Open questions begin with a question word. What, when, how. And then be very ready for the two-part questions, okay? Some topics, some essays will ask you two questions. It is very, very important that you answer both questions. If you only answer one question, you're going to have a very bad score because you didn't have a complete answer. So if there are two questions, make sure both are addressed in your essay. Now, these are the general types of questions. You have to be ready to see the same questions in different forms, okay? So if they're asking you for an opinion, for example, do you agree or disagree with a statement that they gave you? Do you agree with this statement? So it's the same question asked in a different way. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Be very careful with this question. If they ask to what extent, make sure you answer very clearly how much you agree or how much you disagree. I somewhat agree, I somewhat disagree, I agree to a certain degree, etc. Make sure that you answer the extent part of the question. To what extent do you agree with this view, etc. Or they can make the same question in a yes-no format. Do you agree that something should be done or something shouldn't be done or something is or isn't? In your opinion, how can this be fixed? They can say, in your opinion, give an opinion, or how can this be fixed? Just give suggestions. You don't necessarily have to make it your opinion. An opinion, subjective. If the question says you, the answer can say I. If the question does not have a you, again, if it's not asking for opinion, don't give an opinion. If it is a question that asks for an opinion without the you, your choice to say I or not. It is okay to use the first person pronoun, I, me, my, mine, okay? Absolutely okay in academic writing. Now, or very straightforward, direct question, what is your opinion? What do you think about whatever the topic? They could also ask you, in your opinion, do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Should people do that? Do these things happen on a regular basis? Are, etc. So yes, no questions, direct questions, agree, disagree, argument, opinion, okay? The no opinion questions, sometimes they'll say discuss both views. If they say discuss both views, they're not asking for your opinion. Don't give an opinion. Say what is good and bad about this one, say what is good and bad about this one, again, depending on the actual question. But if there are two views, say what you think about each one. Sorry, don't say what you think about each one. Say objectively what is good and bad about each one. What are the advantages and disadvantages of doing this? Say advantages, say disadvantages. Body paragraph 1, you can do advantages. Body paragraph 2, you can do disadvantages. Or again, if there's only one thing, you can split it, advantages, disadvantages. If there are two things, advantage and disadvantage, advantage and disadvantage. One advantage and disadvantage in each body paragraph, okay? And again, the conclusion, still don't give an opinion. Keep it objective and say you can propose something more research. You can say more discussion needs to be had, or just basically restate the introduction in much shorter, simpler ways. Okay. How can this problem be solved? It doesn't ask for your opinion. Just generally speaking, what are some ways, what are some suggestions to solve this problem objectively? What are some things, let's say, a government can do to fix this problem? Let's say you have a question about public transportation. What are some things a government can do to fix this problem? Just present ideas, suggestions, not your opinion. How can the government fix this? Same idea. Compare, oh, sorry, this should be these views. Compare these views. So compare, basically show the good and bad of the two views, etc. Or say how they both work together well, how they work against each other. Hybrid. Now, hybrids basically mix all of these possibilities. They can ask you for an opinion and an objective question. They can ask you two opinions. They can ask you two objective questions. This is especially true in the two-part questions. Do you agree with this approach? And what are some other ways that people can fix this situation? So you have a question about obesity, and some people believe that schools should get rid of all sugary drinks. Do you agree with this approach? What are some other ways schools can help children avoid obesity? Two-part question, opinion and non-opinion. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Now, as soon as you have the do, this could be an opinion, and the outweigh. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? This is asking for an opinion, but first you have to present, or first you have to have a discussion of the advantages and disadvantages, and then make sure you make an argument as to why one outweighs the other or not, okay? Which two things do you think is better? Which do you prefer? So they'll give you two situations. Which do you think is better? So you have to look at the good and bad of each and then choose one over the other. Every time they're asking you to choose between two things, first you have to present the discussion of the two things, and then you have to give an opinion. So this is why it's a hybrid type question. Now, sometimes they'll say discuss both views, period, no opinion. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. So have a discussion and then have an opinion, an argument for your opinion or support for your opinion. Compare these views and say which you agree with. Same idea. Compare the benefits of both and say which you think is greater. So basically, a lot of these questions are asking the exact same thing in different ways. Make sure that you recognize what is being asked of you. What does the grader expect to see when he or she is marking your essay? Are they expecting to see an opinion? Give them one. Are they not expecting one? Don't give them one. Are they expecting a discussion and an opinion? Give them both, okay? Now, I'm almost done. I just want to show you a few things. You can have one question or one general topic asked in many different ways. Teacher salaries should reflect their years of experience and nothing else, okay? Do you agree or disagree with this statement? How should teachers' salaries be decided? Okay, so give some other alternatives to teacher salaries. Should teacher salaries depend on the success of their students? Why or why not? So should, and asking for an opinion. Why or why not? Make sure you support that opinion. Some people believe that basing teacher salaries on the successes of their students will encourage them to work harder. Discuss the advantages of this approach and say whether you agree with it. Discuss the advantages and then say, yes, I agree, no, I disagree. Make sure that you're doing two things in this essay. Teachers should be paid according to the results of their students achieve on standardized tests. Do you agree with this statement? Now, the difference between a discussion essay with an opinion and without an opinion can be very minor, or it can be very big. Like if you have advantages, disadvantages with or without opinion, very different essays. Discuss and discuss with or without an opinion could be almost the same essay, slight changes between the two. I will make a video soon to show you the difference between essay with opinion, essay without opinion. But again, first, make sure you're ready to recognize any essay question that's given to you. Make sure you take the time to read the question carefully, understand what they're looking for, what they're asking you, and start planning according to that to make sure that you answer all the tasks, okay? And that's basically all there is to it, but start today. if writing is your weakest area, and for most people, the writing section is the weakest area on the IELTS and the TOEFL and other exams as well, start today, practice a lot, build your vocabulary, make sure you understand all the grammar you need to know, make sure you have all the transitions and linking words, etc., and write and edit and get some feedback on your essays. Okay. If you have any questions about this, please ask me below here in YouTube. Please, if you want to put essays, that's fine. I hope you all help each other with comments and stuff. I will not be checking your essays that you post, but please try to get each other to do it. If you post an essay, make sure you comment on other people's essays. That's the main thing. Be fair about it. Okay. If you have any other questions, please ask. I'll be back soon with more videos on vocab and grammar and writing and all of this other good stuff. If you like this video, please give me a like. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.